Hello, welcome back to Al Talks. This podcast I started 3 years ago to chronicle me starting stand up. This podcast is a weekly podcast. It comes out once a week, and this is just a small little introduction video into the podcast. So, down below in the description of each episode, you can go to my Linktree and find links to everything connected to me. This podcast is available on YouTube, which you're watching it on right now, and also on Spotify. But yeah, that is just a small introduction into this podcast and everything that goes along with it. Hello, welcome back to the podcast. What are we going to talk about today? Well, I have written out a couple of things and I'll discuss them now. So I've been doing a couple of gigs recently, trying to do as many as possible. And one of the ones I did recently was in a place I haven't been performing in a very, very long time, and it was great to be back there. It was the Circle Sessions open stage. Now, I've talked about Circle Sessions before, but this night was particular. It was a great night for just many, many reasons. One of the reasons I actually enjoy performing at Circle Sessions is because it is a general open stage. So there's poets, there's musicians, there's rappers. The night I performed, there was a guy who did the most incredible improv I've ever seen in my life, which was great. So I performed that night. It went really, really well. Like I was saying, the Austrian material is working out really nice, which I'm happy about. And then, after I performed, there was a couple of other people that performed, a lot of musicians and poets. Of particular note, there was a musician called David who was down from Cork. After the gig, we were sitting there talking, and he actually knows a fellow comedian based down in Cork, so that was great. We were just talking about, art, being an artist essentially. And one of the reasons, like I said, I enjoy going up to Circle Session to perform is because, you get to meet not just people that are comedians. Some comedians don't like performing in places that involves other art forms. I am not one of those comedians. And for me, it's nice to see other performers. And I've been going there for quite a while at this stage, so I know a lot of the people who perform there and stuff like that. We've developed good friendships, and that's what me and David were talking about after the show. He we were just talking that, for example, I had this conversation with a couple of comedians when I was over in Austria. I might have mentioned it, but it's just like you need what one of the comedians was saying was like you need to draw inspiration from other aspects other than comedy for gigs. There's a bunch of clothes on my bed, but ignore that. And he was saying that. Maybe I just move the camera up. There we go. And he was saying that, like an example I'm going to give. Joe Rogan was talking about, like, one of the episodes I was listening to was talking about a UFC fighter who, he's very, very good. And I think he does jiu-jitsu or taekwondo. No, I think jiu-jitsu. And he was saying that one of his hobbies is to practice calligraphy, which, requires a lot of skill to do properly. And, because it's very, you have to be very, very accurate. And he said that the fact that he's in the ring and he's very, very disciplined, and then he does this other thing, which kind of helps him balance himself out and stuff like that. And that's kind of the discussion me and David had. But it was very, very interesting because this is not something that's come up. This is something that has been coming up for me time and time again, and how will I put this? Like I am looking like I am looking for inspiration for stand up to get better at it from other creative perspectives, and seeing the improv that night. I forget the guy's name, but the he, he just had like a couple of topics picked out, and then over the course for like about 2 3 minutes, he managed to make an improv scene out of it, which was I just couldn't believe how good it was. Like I said, I used to do improv back when Fekit Improv was around. Unfortunately, it's not anymore, but I really, really did enjoy it. And it's like, I don't know if they still do it, but there used to be a class on, I think, Monday or Thursday, they used to teach improv. You just come up and do it. But it was always a case of where, for me, it was a case of should I do a gig or should I go to the class? It was always, gig always took preference, but I think if they're still going, I might pop down one of the days and give it a go, see how it goes. And just to kind of get a different aspect, because improv is very, very good for creativity in stand up. Lost my train of thought, but yeah, really, really happy with the Circle Sessions gig. It was really, really good. I enjoyed myself a lot. It was great to meet David and see that incredible piece of improv performance as well. On top of that, had a good show. So overall, very, very good day, and very, very happy with how it turned out. So very, very glad that I went down and performed, because it was quite grueling because I had to come back the same night and get up at like for work in the morning. I got barely got any sleep, and it was definitely worth not getting sleep to perform that night, which was fantastic. I'm trying to think of any other. I have a lot of episodes planned because I've done a lot of stuff, and next couple of weeks I'll probably record like a month ahead again, so you'll probably see a lot of bulk stuff. This is what my plan is: a month or 3 weeks, something. I will see. Don't say. But yeah, I think that's it for this episode, because kind of that's all I wanted to say, and that's it really. I think we should end it there. As per usual, all the links down below to my stuff and my fellow comrades' stuff. And I shall see you next episode. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and I'll see you next one. Bye bye.